Have you been thinking about making the move to Littleton, Colorado, and you need the grand tour? Well, in today's video, I am going over all of Littleton and what it has to offer, down to the different shopping centers, down to housing, and pretty much anything Littleton. So if that's something that you're interested in, go ahead and keep on watching. Welcome back to Colorado Living. I'm Nicole Baker. Today we are going over exactly that, but before we get started, you know the drill. I have to let you guys know I'm a licensed realtor here in this beautiful state. So if you've been interested in relocating to the Denver metro area and want to learn more about moving here and what all the cities are about and everything and anything basically Denver, I'm your go-to girl. So go ahead and subscribe. I would love to help you guys out. If you have questions, go ahead and reach out to me. My number and email are popping up. I'm going to be posting videos every Wednesday at 5 p.m. moving forward. So I would love to assist you guys if you do have questions, but let's get started in this video. Alright guys, getting right into it, we are going over Littleton, Colorado. The first thing I like to do is kind of pan out and show you guys where Littleton is on the map, what it's close to in regards to, like, you know, the mountains, which is something super important to a lot of people that are moving to Colorado, or downtown, the airport, and some of the nearby shopping centers that aren't necessarily in Littleton, Colorado. So first things first, I'm gonna show you guys this little map breakdown right here. As you can see, this little dotted line is considered Littleton, Colorado. If you're asking me and a lot of the other people, and even if you're looking on like Zillow, for example, for housing, Littleton actually spans quite further than this little box. It's probably going to even span all the way over here, Ken Carl, Columbine, and down here, and even some parts of like Highlands Ranch could be considered Littleton, like even going into Roxborough Park and things like that. So just keep that in mind as you are looking for housing. I think that's super important. If you are looking for Littleton, the housing will spread out quite a bit compared to this like little dotted line situation right here. So zooming out, we'll exit that, and we're gonna move down here. So we're right here, Littleton. To Denver, you are very, very close, especially depending on where in Littleton you are. I would say, obviously, if you're going to be in this like kind of Roxborough Park area, that could be considered Littleton. That's gonna be closer to like maybe a 40-minute drive probably. I like to be conservative with my timelines. If time is super, super important to you and you do not want to go past 41 minutes, I highly suggest going on to Google Maps, and you guys can look up, like, if you have a specific area you're looking in and you want to be within 30 minutes of your work, you can always cross-reference these times, because I think that's the best, obviously. Depending on where you're going to be going in these cities, it could differ. So anyways, Roxborough Park to Denver is obviously going to be a lot further than this like north end of Littleton. Probably right here, I mean, you're literally 20 minutes to downtown Denver. It's not bad at all, especially for a lot of people that do work downtown. Littleton would be an amazing option. I have tons of videos about Littleton. I have videos where I'm like kind of going through the neighborhoods and showing you guys different housing options, things like that. So if you're interested in learning more about Littleton, I would highly suggest going and looking at those videos once you're done here, just so you guys can learn more about it. It is a very hot spot to move to right now. I think they rated it like #1 place to live or something like that this last year. So I have a feeling it's going to continue to be a very popular area to move to. And it's obviously very close to downtown Denver. And the other reason why Littleton is so popular is because it is super, super close to mountain access. If mountains are important to you and you can't necessarily live in the mountains, Littleton would be a really, really good option, because you're probably, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes from being like in the mountains kind of thing. So if that's really important to you, that's a cool spot. And then also your airport is going to be right here on this top right-hand corner. So this one, I would say you're probably about 40 minutes to the Denver airport. So keep that in mind. If you do travel a lot for work, that might be a further distance than you're looking to go, or if you work at the airport, that might be a further distance than you're wanting to go. keep all of this in mind. When it comes to Littleton, there's tons and tons of shopping throughout the entire Littleton area. It is a very well-developed area. It's not like brand new, lots of older homes in there. Yes, there are some newer homes too, but my point is that it has tons of shopping and commercial areas throughout the entire Littleton area. There's not one area that comes to my mind where you're not gonna have quick access to get to shopping. The only ones that you're not gonna have quick access are going to be like houses down in this area that can be considered Littleton. So just keep that in mind. The thing I like about Littleton is it is pretty central without being in Denver. For all my suburb people, I could not live downtown Denver. I couldn't even live near Denver because I'm just not that kind of person. I would rather live in the suburbs, and Littleton gives you a good mixture of both, especially if you do enjoy doing fun things and going out and, you know, date nights or whatever the case may be. You still have really quick access to that, so I really enjoy that. You're not going to necessarily go to some of these places that I'm going to mention now on a daily basis, but it's nice to have quick access. Again, right down here is Park Meadows, which is a huge mall and really like tons and tons of shopping all throughout this area. So just keep that in mind. You're probably 10 minutes max. Like I'm being generous on that. From Park Meadows, this is gonna be your big mall that you're probably gonna go to quite often. Tons of different shopping in this area. So like you have IKEA over here, you have In-N-Out Burger, you have different restaurants, different like fancy considered restaurants, right? So all of this area is very popular. You have, I think, a Nordstrom rack in there, yep, right here. So it's nice to have quick access to that. And then as we scroll out, we're gonna get kind of closer to that Littleton area now. I would say we're gonna zoom into right over here on this main road, just so you guys can see kind of like what's going on in regards to the shopping closer to the Littleton area. So right here off the E470, right about here, actually closer to like that Park Meadows area, I believe, and west, you are not necessarily going to have to take the toll road, which is really nice. If you hate the idea of paying for tolls, Littleton would be a really good area because you have quick access to the I-25. E470 on the west side doesn't have as many tolls. Yes, you can still take a toll if you want to get there faster or whatever the case may be, but it's not a necessity, which I really like, versus like being in Southeast Aurora where I am, you pretty much have to take the toll unless you want to take just the side streets, which is going to take you longer, of course. Right here is going to be a lot of shopping, and you're also close to the Highlands, which people really, really love. It's just nice to have all the amenities that each location has versus, again, I'm gonna compare it to Southeast Aurora because that's where I live. You really don't have anything besides the stuff in Southeast Aurora, and if you want more, then you have to drive at least 20 minutes, which I find myself driving 20 minutes away to get my regular food and like just going out to eat and things like that. So it's a little bit of an inconvenient spot. If you don't mind, of course, you know, being a little bit further away from food, you don't go out as much to eat as I do, then Southeast Aurora is gonna be your spot. Littleton is just so convenient, and I think that's why people love it. Going in, zooming a little bit for you guys. This is gonna be, again, just all your typical shopping stuff, right? So Target, Discount Tire, KFC, Chili's, Olive Garden, just a bunch of different food options. PetSmart right here. Oops, not trying to call those people out right there. Then zooming out a little bit over here, we're gonna go into this kind of area. So all of the yellow is going to be commercialized areas. So I think you guys can probably know that maybe from the map. If not, there's a little tidbit for you guys as you're looking for housing and you want to be close to whatever you want to be close to, right? So like for me, I would definitely want to be close to some of these shopping centers. I think it's a little bit more convenient for my lifestyle, but you guys will have to let me know down in the comments if that makes sense for you. Right here is going to be some more shopping. So you got your Whole Foods, you got a Best Buy, Snooze, and a lot of Littleton is a mixture of old and new. I would say it's definitely well developed, like I was mentioning earlier in this video. So that's really nice. But again, if you're looking for something super new, Littleton is not going to be that area. It's very, very much like, what do they say? It has a lot more character to it. That's what they say. So that's something that a lot of people do love about Littleton is there's totally a bajillion different house styles too. So you have a mixture of really old homes built in, 1960s or something along those lines, ranch style, very cute, modest properties, right? With like big yards, which a lot of people love. And again, lots of character. But they also have homes that have been completely knocked down and built up to these magnificent $1 million plus properties, which is really nice as well. So if you're looking for something like that, Littleton definitely has that to offer. And because of the fact that it is so huge, even though of course we aren't gonna consider it as huge as it is, for the sake of like that little, you know, dotted line that we talked about earlier in this video, you are still going to get pretty much anything and everything that you would need out of a location, right? So like this area over here is going to have new homes. Some of these areas have newer homes, and then you have all different types of pricing too. So average price point in Littleton, Colorado is quite high. It's probably around $700,000 for an average single family home, right? Keep this in mind as I'm talking. It doesn't mean average is average, right? Like that doesn't mean you're not gonna be able to find a property that's even more affordable. I would say you could probably find a condo townhome style property, 2 bedrooms, around that $450 price point. Some, you know, some of course are gonna be a little bit cheaper, some are gonna be a little bit higher, but at least you have options in that price point, at least to get you started and get you in the door for purchasing in the Colorado area, especially Littleton. Especially, again, a lot of this whole like kind of area that's going to be closer to the mountains is always going to be more expensive, because that's why people are moving here. So many people are moving to Colorado for that quick access to the mountains because they're really into hiking, or they're really into just being in the wilderness in general. They want to be close to that, and that's why Littleton is going to be a little bit more expensive. Again, if you're going to be in this kind of like Southeast Aurora corner, you might be able to get something a little bit more affordable, which would be awesome. But it's not always feasible for everyone's price point. So zooming in over here, we're gonna check out a couple different other like, what do they call it? Commercial areas, right? So as you can see, like this map is just like, has tons and tons of different commercial spots. We'll go over here real quick, kind of zoom in on this area. It's another little shopping center. Quick access for everybody. You got Planet Fitness, King Soopers, which is the same thing as like Fry's here, Taco Bell, Home Depot. Again, yeah, just lots and lots of different access points. And again, different highways and stuff too for quick access to going wherever you guys need to go, whether you know, enjoy taking the E470, but if not, no problem, because they have a lot of different cut through points. As you guys can see, these yellow parts, those are gonna be like your major roads and like major highways, I would say, even to get you where you need to go a little bit quicker than anything. So that's really nice. And then we'll go ahead and zoom in over here. This is a lake. It has really, really beautiful views. For me, and I think a lot of people, again, the thing that is so amazing about living in Colorado in general, but also Littleton, is because they've kept the integrity of what you get out of living in Colorado, if that makes sense, versus like, it's not just all compacted house after house after house. Granted, there are gonna be some neighborhoods like that, but they've still kept the nature and the beauty of Littleton and Colorado in general throughout the entire state, which is just something I love. Like having a huge, beautiful lake in the middle of your community is just like amazing and gorgeous, right? So there's gonna be housing along this end. You have a couple different housing options around here. I believe they have some condos in there as well if you guys are looking for something like that. You got a Trader Joe's over here. You got tons of different golf course options too for anyone that enjoys golfing. There's a few really well-known golf courses, and I'm not gonna act like I know anything about golfing because I don't. Another good option to go if you enjoy like hiking, but you don't really have the time to head all the way up to the mountains. You also wanna check out this Chatfield State Park. It's gorgeous. It's like, I get crazy about how beautiful it is here because it really is that stunning that I just didn't get to experience that when living in Arizona because it's a desert and the houses are all stacked on top of each other. You guys can let me know where you're coming from if that's the case where you live now. Like, are the houses all stacked on top of each other? Do you feel like you're in nature? I don't know. Yeah, I haven't been to a lot of states in the East Coast, so you guys let me know what you think. But another thing that's cool about here is also you have tons of different wildlife too. You have foxes, you have deer roaming around here, especially going to in this like North Ranch, Ken Carl area, tons of different animals. And then again, the views, even though you're not in the mountains, the views from Littleton, I feel like I'm a Littleton spokesperson right now, but it really is gorgeous. Just being in this area, like being so close to the mountains, it's like breathtaking and it makes you feel really, really happy. Something to keep in mind about the Littleton area is you're going to, as you get closer to these mountains, you're inevitably going to have a little bit more of a hectic weather schedule, I guess. And granted, Colorado is very hectic with their weather in general, but you're going to probably experience a little bit more snow as you get closer to these mountainy areas. But just something to keep in mind, again, going back to the hiking thing, you're going to be able to go to Chatfield State Park, and really this whole area is going to be filled with tons and tons of trails if you guys really enjoy that kind of thing, which I think a lot of you guys do. So keep that in mind about Littleton. Let's go. I don't think I did kind of these areas. Oh, there is some hospitals that I want to talk about. So where are we? I gotta look around. Think the Children's Hospital, there it is. So if you have a child that needs quick access to medical care, a lot of the times Littleton is also a really good area for that, because you do have the Children's Hospital right here. I know that might be very specific for a specific type of family, but I have had people reach out to me in the past saying they're looking to be close to the Children's Hospital because of their children's condition. It just makes a lot more sense for them to have quick access to that, so keep that in mind too. What else do we want to do? Do we want to... We'll talk about Sterling Ranch a little bit. And again, some people might consider this kind of like Highlands Ranch. Some people are going to consider it Littleton, and some people are going to consider it Roxborough Park, just depending on who you're talking to, right? But I would say for the sake of this video, we'll talk about it as if it is Littleton. You're going to have tons of new homes here, and you're going to be able to get a brand new home, a brand new single family home for somewhat of an affordable price point. Granted, this area is a little bit further out from everything, so keep that in mind. I do have a video dedicated, I believe, to Roxborough Park. So I think it's called like Sneaky Town or something along those lines. So you guys can watch that once you're done here as well. But they are very, very close to the mountains. And what's nice about this area is kind of like it's super undeveloped, which gives you the opportunity to get in at a lower price, especially if you want to be close to those mountains, because I could just see this whole area as it already has exploded, but continuing to explode and grow in the next few years, and giving you an opportunity to have that premium, beautiful home up close to the mountains with, you know, when everything else is like, you bought it for $500,000 and everything else, you know, 3 years later is going to be $700,000. This would be a good spot, especially if you're trying to invest in any sort of properties. I believe this will be the next pop-in area in this Littleton, the South Littleton area. So keep that in mind. I think that's it, guys. I really broke down a lot of Littleton. Again, housing here is a little bit more expensive, but you can find properties ranging between $450,000 up to multi-million-dollar properties, very luxurious, up near the mountains, all of the things. Littleton really does have that to offer. Great for date nights, great for, I don't want to say kids, but great all around. There's so many different aspects to living in Littleton that people love. I also suggest, if schooling is really important to you guys, Littleton and Colorado in general is known to have good schools, but check that out in the links down below. You guys can Google it and get more information for yourself, because I don't have children and I don't know anyone that is necessarily having kids in the Littleton area, but it is known for that. So go ahead and check those links out down below. Also, niche.com is a really good option for you as well. That isn't necessarily specific to schooling, but just learning about an area. It has tons of different reviews, and like I always say, I would rather you guys not just trust everything that I'm saying, but also do some additional research. If you have questions, of course, you guys can reach out to me. My number is popping up, and if you guys enjoyed this video and you want more videos like it, hit the like button and comment down below where I should do one of these kind of like walkthrough tour videos next. I think they're super informative, but I want to know what your guys' opinions are. And then until next time, guys, I am a licensed realtor here in this beautiful state, and I would love to assist you if you guys have questions. Reach out. But I'll see you later. Bye.